So to make a good decision about how you spend your money, you need to start by making simple but very clear money goals. All right, these are goals about where your money is going to go, how much money you're going to save, how much money you're going to spend, and so forth. All right. Hello and welcome, friends. Welcome to my channel. My name is Nokulunga, your host, as you know, and this is Youth Corner. Today is episode 3 of the financial series. All right, and I'm hoping you guys will enjoy it. Today is all about the B word, budget. And I know many people hate the word budget, but really, what a budget is a summary of your future income and your future expenses. All right, basically how much money is coming in, how much money will I be spending to my needs as well as my wants, and it helps you know where your money is going. That's all it is. People often think a budget means now you're not spending on things that you need or things that you want. You can't have fun. But actually, a budget is a balancing act. All right, for instance, you need a new jacket, right, because winter's coming. But at the same time, you really need a new phone because your ntilili is just not performing anymore. Or like, for instance, in my case, I need a new phone, but I also need tires for my car. So these are all important. So a budget could help me achieve these goals, all right? So to make a good decision about, how you spend your money, you need to start by first setting goals, right? You've heard people talk about goals and they talk about SMART goals, so they're simple, they're measurable, they're attainable, they're realistic, as well as they are time bound, which means you want to do them within a particular period of time. Now you work with these goals on these goals and a plan to achieve your goals in mind. All right, so you take your goal, you turn it into a plan, and then you achieve it and you eventually get what you want. All right, so when you're creating a budget, you need to understand that the difference between something you need and something you want is quite significant. Okay, there's wants on this side and then there's needs on that side. It's different, but they are all important. All right, so don't think that just because you need something means you can't get what you actually want. You still need to be happy at the end of the day. Okay, so today I'm going to help you guys create a budget builder. All right, now because the audience is targeted at students and early career people, this is not going to be a complicated budget. Okay, I'm not going to come here with macros and all these things that people put up. I'm just going to tell you how to figure out how much coming in and how much to figure out what is going out, right? And then we start looking at things like savings. Now let's talk about the benefits of budgeting. All right, so why should I budget in the first place, right? What are the benefits of me budgeting? First thing, it helps you plan financially. Okay, it helps you identify your overspending. Sometimes you're spending too much money on data and airtime, whereas you could actually switch it off and go and use Wi-Fi somewhere or hotspot somewhere instead of using your own data. You call too much instead of just sending an SMS. It's cheaper, 50 cents done, whereas a call 10 rand gone in like 3 minutes. So those are the things that the budget helps you with. We said 1, it helps you plan financially. 2, it helps you identify overspending, and 3, it motivates you to save towards your goals, because every time you look at your budget, you're like, I'm still on point, right? All right, so let's look at a quick look at needs. What are these needs that a person potentially has, right? Let's start with jewelry, guys. Jewelry is not a need. It's important, but it's a want. Okay, so these gorgeous earrings that I'm wearing and this ring are all just wants. All right, so first things, when we look at needs, we're talking about food. Okay, do I have food? Do I have groceries for the month, for the week? Am I okay, right? Because food is important. 2, do I have shelter? Where am I sleeping, guys? This video, where am I recording it? Is my rent paid? Things like that. Clothing, do I have warm clothes? It's summer now or it's winter now. I need appropriate clothes. All right, this doesn't mean I'm buying clothes every month. It just means that I have clothes at least for the season that we are in at the time. All right. Now, while for instance we look at wants, which could be a new bike, a new skating board, or the PSP5, those are all wants. I know some people think it's needs, but honestly it is wants. All right. So remember to take care of your needs first. Right. This means that you look at what you need first, as I mentioned, your basic essentials, your food, your shelter, your clothing, before you look at your wants. And you need to save for your wants. All right. That's where budgeting becomes so important. So a budget comes in because it will help you, consider what is my immediate needs, what are my immediate wants, but also help you start saving for long-term things, like your 2-3 year plans, maybe a vacation to somewhere, and so forth. So let's look at the first step in building a budget. Okay, so the first thing you need to identify is, as I mentioned, how much money is coming in. This money could be coming in from your wages or salary. You have a part-time gig somewhere. It could be coming in from your allowance, from your parents, from your bursary, from your donor, from whoever. It could be gifts from loved ones, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, friend, those are all just like gifts. It's money that you don't really expect, or it's money that just comes in, or maybe it's coming in because they told you, I'm giving you 1.5, so those are all monies that you now put down and list. And then there's other. Okay, so you list those down. I'm going to share it with you guys, and I'm going to give you a minute to just complete it. All right, so let's look, for example, let's say for instance you have your wages at about 2,000, right? It's coming in, sure, right? You have your allowance from your parents, which is maybe another 2,000, sure, that's already 4,000. You have gifts, for instance, that are coming in, maybe another 4,000, so that's 8,000 already. You have other money from maybe a short-term gig or whatever it is that you did, say 1,000 rand. So already now you've got 9,000 rand, because it was the 4,000 rand from the gift, it was the 4,000 rand from the other monies that you were waiting for, right? So you total all of that and it's 9,000 rand, for instance, right? Now once you've done that, right, money coming in from there, maybe you tengisa happy life, you put it all there. Then you say, okay, I need to go to the movies and be entertained every month, right? That means picnic vibes, that means drinks with friends, that means whatever, your takeaways, your Uber Eats, your Mr. D's, all of that goes under the entertainment budget, okay? And once you've exhausted your entertainment budget, you should be disciplined enough to know that there's no more. If your entertainment budget was 1,000, it needs to stay there. If you go over, it means the following month you must not spend as much. You must sort of, like, if you borrow from the next month, then you must spend less next month. So if you borrow 100 rand from next month, it means next month you can only spend 1.9 and not the full 2,000, for instance. All right, you budget for your clothes and accessories. All right, you budget for your games, you budget for food and snacks and groceries, and that's really things that you need. You budget for transport if you need to move around. Your Ubers, that needs a budget, guys. Just calling in Uber and next thing your money is gone. You need to budget for that. Things like, charity. Are you going to give to the church? Are you going to give to the mosque? Are you going to give to charity? How are you going to give back? And you decide how much you want to do that for, or maybe even give to your family. Some people call it black tax. Some people call it just giving to their families as a way to say thank you. Whatever it is, you list all of that down. Remember, you already know this 9,000 is coming in. Now you're just listing your monthly expenses. Electricity. If you're paying for electricity, you need to budget it in there under utilities, okay? So once you have all of that, now you know, okay, out of the 9,000, I'm spending 7.5, all right? Or let's just say 8,000 rand, right? So then you say to yourself, okay, so now let's say 9,000 rand, which is the monthly income, minus the 8,000 rand that's coming in, right? That only leaves me with 1,000 rand. Now, remember, by the time we get to this 1,000 rand, we've already paid for all our essentials, our needs, our clothes, our food, our shelter. We've paid for it. We've even put in money for entertainment, all right? So this 1,000 is really for us to start thinking about savings, okay? Because that will be now how much money you're gonna save. So okay, fine, 8,000 is everything. Now there's this 1,000 rand because we were at 9,000 rand. This 1,000 rand goes towards your savings, okay? I'm hoping that you're now clear on, how simple and easy a budget is. You locate how much money you're getting, you locate how much you're actually going to spend, and you make sure you allocate money for fun as well. You need a fun budget. And then once you've done that, then you know, okay, this is how much I'm going to save. Now, when we save, we're talking about really your short-term, your medium-term, and your long-term savings, okay? You'd remember in episode 2 that we spoke about savings, right? The first episode was learning to earn. How do we earn money? How do we find extra part-time jobs to make money? The second episode was, how do we save this money? And this is episode 3 on how to budget with the money that we get, right? So the goal of a budget ultimately is to make sure that you have money to save at the end of the day, okay? Because you need to save for a rainy day. So let's look at, for instance, what are short-term savings, right? Short-term savings, we're talking about, for instance, a school textbook, all right? That's a short-term goal. It's a short-term savings. Medium-term, we're looking about, I need to save for winter clothes, winter jackets. That is a medium-term goal because winter's around the corner, all right? So it's not immediate, but at the same time, it's within the short-term period, within this year at least. That's your medium-term goals. And then we look at your long-term goals, which is maybe getting a new phone. As I mentioned, I need a new phone, guys. So that would be long-term, all right? So remember, with short-term, it's 1 month, for instance. Medium term, it's 2 months to say about a year, within the same year that we are in. And then long term could be over a year and a half, etc. All right, now I'm going to give you guys a chance to write down your short-term goals, things you need to do within a month, and things you need to get within the medium term, which is 2 months to up to a year. That could be saving for a holiday. And then the long term, which is over a year, beyond a year. Maybe you want to save for a trip to Thailand, okay? When the lockdown is over and all that stuff. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to just document yours, and then hopefully I'll see you after this. Alright, so you've had a look, right, of what is a short-term goal, what is a medium-term goal, what is a long-term goal. You now know what a budget is. It's not the ugly word that we all hate, but it's just saying, how much money am I getting? How much money am I spending? And still making a budget, or rather including how much money you need to have fun and to entertain yourself, okay? Now we're moving to my favorite part, okay? This is the quiz. And the reason we do this is because I need to know that you guys have been listening, So I know you might cheat, but gay. Let's hope you won't. Now, question 1. Let's look at question 1. True or false, right? It says, it is important to prioritize a want over a need when creating a budget. Let me repeat it. It is important to prioritize a want over a need when creating a budget. True or false? The answer is false. Remember, needs are your essentials, wants are important, but there are things that can wait that you can budget for, all right? So you shouldn't be prioritizing your wants over your needs. Otherwise, you'll end up not having food, not having shelter, and the things you really, really need, okay? Question 2 is, when you budget, you want to have more expenses than income. living on an overdraft. No, of course not. You want to make sure your income is more than your expenses, and if your expenses are more than your income, you need to either go back to the drawing board and find an extra source of income, or you need to reduce your expenses and look at your budget and figure out where you're spending too much money, and where you're spending too much money, say 300 on airtime per month, you can reduce it to say 150 or 200. Then that money can go towards groceries and other things that you actually need. Okay. Question 3: a budget tracks where your money goes. True or false? This is true, because that's what a budget is. It helps you know what's going on with your money. If someone approaches you and says, hey, what's happening with your money, you can tell them exactly where it is, because you've been keeping track of where your money goes. All right. Question 4: focusing on savings for goals is more important than budgeting for a need. Let me repeat. Focusing on saving for goals is more important than budgeting for a need. That answer is false. It's false, because a goal is usually medium term, short term, or long term. So you need to first of all have a budget and budget for your needs and your wants, and then with the savings you then plan to purchase things in the future. So that would be false. Okay, it's important. Needs, wants, savings, goals. All right, that's how we do it. Question number 5 says you should set aside savings in your budget for emergencies. An emergency could be the screen of your phone just breaks and you can't see a thing. If you don't have emergency savings, you can't just go to the shop and fix your screen, right, friends? So the answer to that is true. It's important to budget for emergencies, and you do that either in your main budget, when you budget and say, okay, 5% or 2% of what's coming in will go and save towards emergencies, or once you've made your budget and you have the money that you're saving, part of that money could be towards emergency savings. You can decide whether emergency savings is going to be like a month's worth of what you usually spend per month, or it could be 2 months, 3 months. It's totally up to you. It's just money to cushion you when something unexpected happens, even a medical emergency. All right, so that's all we had enough time for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Nokulunga, your host, as you know. And remember, my videos are really not financial advice, guys. I'm not a financially approved guru or anything. My videos are based on my personal experiences, my knowledge, and my passion for youth, because that's what I do, right? So if you do want more professional advice, you can approach your bank or approach anyone who's a financial advisor or financial planner, anyone that's registered with the financial services provider. So they call it FSP. So anyone who has that, you can. This is just financial literacy information which I'm sharing from me to you. All right, cheers guys. Thank you. Bye.